Today what we're going to do is go through the top 6 things you can do that will nurture your relationship. This is a really important topic because it helps us clarify the ways that we connect to one another in the craziness of life. If we're doing these top 6 things, we know that we are nurturing our relationship, we're staying connected, we're making that relationship a priority, and even if it's small things that we do every day, we're committing to one another that we're coming back and connecting to the relationship. So the top 6 things are these: creating rituals of connection, finding ways to speak love to one another, giving each other the benefit of the doubt, never stop dating each other, finding ways to compromise and also to work through conflict, and making your sexual relationship with one another a priority. So let me go through those and explain what each one means. The first one is creating a ritual of connection. Rituals of connection are ways that we really connect to one another in the small or big ways. It's the way that we're really honoring the relationship. Dr. John Gottman, he has been studying relationships since the late 70s, early 80s, and in his research he points out the importance of small things that you do for one another every day. What are your rituals of connection? What are the things that you do with one another that you don't do with anyone else? Whether it's agreeing on date night every Wednesday night, or agreeing to try something new, or the agreement of saying hello to one another throughout the day. What are those small things that you do every day? And that is really, really important. It's a spoken way that you turn towards one another and you say, let's connect. Rituals of connection can also be big things, like the way you celebrate certain holidays or family traditions that you really want to incorporate into your family. So really taking some time out and saying, what are the ways that we come together and we nurture our relationship in formal ways like holidays or family traditions, or informal ways, the small ways we speak connection to one another. The second tip for nurturing your relationship is finding ways to speak love to one another. This is ways that we can come together and speak love to another besides just saying, I love you. Gary Chapman wrote The 5 Love Languages, and in this, he really talks about what are the ways that we speak love, making a mindful choice to speak your partner's love language. His belief in the book highlights that we all carry around a love tank inside ourselves, and our partner can say or do things that help that love tank really feel full. And so for you guys, take some time to sit down. It's a good book if you want to read it, but also take some time and sit down with one another to go through, what are the things that you do for one another that make you feel most loved? And within that, you'll find your love language. So it's really important to find ways to speak love to one another, whether it is through verbal or nonverbal actions. The third tip for nurturing your relationship is always give each other the benefit of the doubt. Now this is really important because when things are not going so well, what we normally do is we start making assumptions, or we think our partner is out to get us. And I really want you to take some time to think about giving your partner the benefit of the doubt and what that means. First of all, stop making assumptions or creating a story in your mind that it's something else, and see things for how they are right in front of you. If you have questions or concerns, stop and ask them. There's a saying, don't make assumptions, ask questions. Be curious, try to create understanding. When we give each other the benefit of the doubt, we create openness to have a really important conversation about what we think, how we feel, compromise, what we need. If we create assumptions, we shut down, we stop talking, and we start to create a divide. So remember, give your partner the benefit of the doubt. Step 4 is never stop dating each other, and this is really important, and in some ways is attached to rituals of connection, and in other ways is very different. What I mean by never stop dating each other, it's really important that you find a way to create aliveness in the relationship. And when we make a priority to turn towards one another and to create that ritual of date night, or just finding ways to create physical affection, physical intimacy, it continues to create aliveness in the relationship. The more that we know one another, it creates a deep understanding, and our love bond forms even more strongly. And when we continue to date one another throughout the history of your relationship, you kind of turn towards that creating and cultivating that intimate side of your relationship. And intimacy is two things, emotional and physical. When you continue to date one another, you kind of access in the emotional intimacy, getting to know one another, creating that deep, intimate understanding about one another. And the other part is the physical intimacy. And when you continue to date one another, you really cultivate that side. When you try new things, it creates aliveness and a connectedness and excitement, and all of those things really build on desire in a relationship. When you explore even a new restaurant, you create a connection that's something different, which makes it more exciting, and again, it creates aliveness in the relationship, and it really fuels desire. When you try new things, when you explore each other's inner world, it really bounces off of physical and emotional intimacy that is really important. So never stop dating each other. The fifth tip to nurturing your relationship is finding ways to manage your conflict and compromise. Managing conflict is, something that we do in order to really say, hey, we know that there's going to be times when we have conflict. We're two different people in a relationship. We see things very differently. So you're going to have times where you have disagreement. Dr. Gottman talks about the difference between perpetual and solvable problems, where, perpetual problems are going to be things that come up throughout the history of your relationship because they're attached to a belief or value system that you're just not willing to compromise on. And so it's really important that you find ways to learn how to manage conflict, knowing and understanding you're not going to resolve all of your relationship conflict. There are going to be times when you need to agree to disagree and take a break. And the other thing I want to say is that it is so important in a relationship to take a break when things are getting really heated. When you get into fight or flight and you start to kind of dig your heels into your position, you lose peripheral vision, you lose the ability to want to hear, you lose the ability to want to empathize or compromise. If you start to feel that your heart rate's beating really fast, or you're really hot, or you're getting to that point where you're just impulsively saying things that are going to be hurtful and harmful to the relationship, stop and take a break. Develop a plan for when things are getting heated, and that plan is going to be, I need 15 minutes to go cool off, to collect my thoughts, and then to come back to the table to identify what I'm trying to communicate or what a positive need is. It is okay to take a break. And remember, if you have an agreement that you're taking a break in the relationship, please don't follow each other around. When you start to follow each other around, things are only going to get heated. So honor the break, honor the commitment that you've made to one another. And know that when you both are in a place to really hear each other is where you can start working on compromise. Gottman has a saying, with compromise, getting to yes, how can we both make agreements where we can work through this issue and we both feel heard, understood, and we both are quote unquote winning. And he is saying yielding to win is really not one of you winning, but the relationship wins. With compromise, you both are giving a little and you're getting a little. And again, it's not about one of you winning, it's about the relationship is winning. So this tip is super important, and there's so much we're going to talk about with compromise. But in this video today, it really is knowing that not all marital conflict or relationship conflict is going to be solved, especially in the moment. Developing a plan to say when things are getting really heated, instead of it escalating to where it becomes hurtful and harmful to the relationship, we're going to take a break and we're going to make a commitment to come back and talk about it at a different time. Whether it's 30 minutes or an hour, you're making that agreement together. And compromise is, our relationship wins when we both give a little and get a little. Super important. And then the last tip is your sexual relationship. Creating a healthy sexual relationship in your relationship is super important. Making sex a priority. And it doesn't mean that, again, one of you is totally happy and the other one is not satisfied. It's what is a relation, what do we want our sexual relationship to look like? And how can we both create satisfaction? It's always okay to say no, but how can I say no and still know that I want to connect to my partner? And, talking about what you like, what you don't like, what your fantasies are, it's really important how you learned about sex. All of these things are important when it comes to your sexual relationship. Making sex a priority is, it's one way that you're really saying, I'm committed to this relationship. Your sexual relationship is one that you decide between the two of you, and it's a commitment, it's intimacy, it's all of those things that you're communicating to one another without using any words. Oftentimes it's a very physical act that at times is a very intimate act. So really creating a healthy sexual relationship within the boundaries of your relationship is super important. So these are the top 6 ways that you nurture your relationship. I hope that you find that they're helpful. Please subscribe to my channel and you'll get weekly videos on different topics regarding and surrounding relationships. And comment or like, and I will comment back. Have a great day.